What is up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Cologne, host of City of Wrestling Showtime. Man, tonight's AEW Dynamite, that was a fun wrestling show. That was very entertaining. There's a lot to talk about, and there's a few things to talk about outside of AEW, like we always do on City of Wrestling Showtime. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you are notified when the City of Wrestling drops its latest content. Follow me, Dedrian _180 on all social media platforms. And man, let's just get into it, man. This was a fun show. They held AEW Dynamite at Daly's Place, which is synonymous with AEW. It's the birthplace. It's where they had their press conference when they launched. And of course, they held many events during the pandemic at Daly's Place. That was just their home when everything was shut down and there was just a lot of things that were uncertain. So them coming back, man, it was really cool. What I liked about tonight's show was the actual presentation. This was the first Dynamite with the new set design. I can't remember if did they go to Daly's Place in 2023? I'm not sure. If you're watching this, comment below if AEW went to Daly's Place in 2023. I don't recall them going there because the way the design was for tonight's Dynamite with the stage, the LED lights, man, this was really good. It was bright. I have it here in my notes. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, it was top notch, man. It was vibrant. As soon as the show came on the air, it was just, there was an energy and excitement and enthusiasm about this show that was really cool, and I liked it. Man, right off the bat, they start off with Hangman Page and Claudio. They set the tone, and it just maintained throughout the show. Maybe it dropped a little bit after the Ricky Starks, Sammy Guevara match, where they played Judas to drown out some boos, which a lot of people were, thinking like, hey, are they doing it because Jericho made the save and that whole thing? But nonetheless, man, this was a show that maintained. I know for the 8 women's tag, people are like, okay, is Mercedes Moné showing up? Is she showing up? She didn't, and I don't mind that. I kind of figured she wasn't showing up when they had the 8-man tag with Preston Vance, and he won. And of course, those matches were dedicated to Brody Lee. And after that 8-man men's tag, I was like, you know what? I don't think they're bringing Mercedes because it's like they're honoring Brody Lee and they're not going to pivot to, oh, here's Mercedes Moné with all the women and everything. It was like, I don't think that's going to happen. But if she's signed and if that is concrete, we'll see what happens. Nothing has been official, no hint, no, nothing on social media, no reports. So again, the reports are many in the industry expect Mercedes Moné to be headed towards AEW. Things can change. For all we know, she can show up at the Royal Rumble. That's how professional wrestling has been since 2021. Anything can happen. Leave nothing off the table. But yeah, the presentation for tonight's AEW Dynamite, go watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It was really nice. Man, shot nice. The LED with the crowd on the stage and just that whole, man, it looked so good, man. I really hope in 2024 AEW goes to different venues that have like a unique look that just sets it apart from how do I put it? The mundane look where it's like, okay, they're at an arena, this. It just gives it this unique feel that's fresh. And again, if AEW, and let's face it, AEW is an alternative to WWE, make sure your presentation is an alternative to WWE where it's not just, hey, we have the same, different letters and championships and wrestlers and everything, but like our presentation is different, not have it so mundane. But yeah, tonight's presentation, man, chef's kiss. I loved it. But the big story coming out, or actually a few big stories. There was a lot of things that were leaning towards collision. One thing leaning towards collision. one thing leading towards next week Dynamite, and then one thing leading to a very big match at Revolution, which is the last match for Sting. And after the Sting Darby versus Takeshita and Hobbs match, Tony Schiavone, he's gonna ask Sting, so who is going to be your opponent for your last match? And Super Kick Party hits. The Young Bucks come out, and they don't come out braggadocious or anything. They actually come out in, I think it was Nick Jackson. Yeah, Nick came out. No, Nick. I always get them confused. Well, one Young Bucks, I'll just leave it at that, came out in white. Another one came out in black. And they had like these mustaches and everything, almost like Pink Panther villains or something like that. It's like, what? But no, it was really cool. It was interesting. They didn't say nothing. They just looked at Sting and Darby, shook their head. So that could be the main event and Sting's last match with Darby Allin. Pretty interesting. I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I remember a shoot interview years ago. I want to say maybe 2016, maybe even 2015. Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, it was him and Kevin Nash, and they were talking about Cody Hall and him being in Bullet Club, and Scott Hall mentioned, he's like, the Young Bucks are like two Shawn Michaels, so they can sell the way Sting works. They did it at Forbidden Door. If you guys remember the first one, they were part of Bullet Club versus Sting, Darby, I believe. Yeah, Sting, Darby, and Shingo Takagi versus who was their other partner? Was it Clark Connors? I think it was. No, I can't remember. But they were against Bullet Club, Hikuleo, El Phantasmo, and the Young Bucks and everything. So they do have some history there. But we'll see how this plays out leading towards Revolution. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to, is Sting going to lose his last match? Is he going to win? And if Sting loses his last match to the Young Bucks, man, the Young Bucks are going to get some nasty heat. People already have a preconceived notion after what happened with All Out 2022 with the whole CM Punk press conference scrum. So people already have a preconceived notion about them, and they've been getting booed since September of 2022. So this will just be the icing on the cake. And of course, with the Young Bucks, they are tremendous heels. They are very good as heels. I mean, that's how they were in Bullet Club when Bullet Club took off. Like, they were phenomenal heels that people loved. That's why the Bullet Club merchandise sold, along with the other player, Cody, Tama Tonga, Balor, Omega, AJ, Good Brothers, all of them. But they were part of that nucleus that led to Bullet Club exploding. And it was because they were really good, obnoxious heels that were just annoying, especially in Ring of Honor. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Moving on, and this was actually my favorite because I actually like all four guys. I like Hangman Page, but man, Samoa Joe comes out with the new title. Whew, let me drink some water because there's a lot to talk about with this one. So Samoa Joe, he comes out, he says there's changes to the championship protocol. No more whining on the mic or going on social media and leaving your comments. Bring your record to the championship committee so I can stomp you down and beat you down. This is what Samoa Joe was saying. He's like, your champion will be waiting. And after he says that, whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland comes out with the Mogul Embassy and Prince Nana. He got a big reaction. And I love it. I love this interaction. I love that you got Samoa Joe, who we've known to be a great talker. Swerve Strickland, he's getting up there. He's to some, he's not known as a great talker, but for what he's been doing since he's been in AEW, he's showing people he can talk. And this was good. He interrupts him. Swerve tells him, I'm happy to make this personal. Then Hangman Page interrupts. And then Hangman Page mentions, I lost sight of the AEW World title. 2024, I will make it mine. And then you have Swerve. He leaves because him and Hangman, they're about to go to blows. He leaves. And then Hangman Page and Samoa Joe, they face off. And then Hangman Page leaves. And Samoa Joe, he looks at the belt, picks it up, raises it. Hook's music hit. And you see it's almost like the bat signal for a Hook. In the Daily's place, he comes out. He confronts him, and he says 1 week. And yes, we are getting Samoa Joe and Hook next week on Dynamite. Man, I'm looking forward to that. Man, that's going to be a really good match. Samoa Joe, Hook. Whew, man, I'm glad and I'm happy that they're starting to utilize Hook in more of a they're integrating him more into major storylines and just having him as a somewhat special attraction, but kind of like, he's here, he's there. Man, let me move this over here. There we go. But yeah, I love this. Man, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with Swerve and Hangman as they go after Samoa Joe for the world title. So I really like how ever since they've given AEW, they've given Samoa Joe the world title, that almost the same number of people that were after MJF's world title have now shifted towards Samoa Joe. And I think that's really cool storytelling by AEW, especially for the world title, to really set up all these challengers that are gunning for the world champion. And it's almost it feels like they're taking a page out of Lord of the Rings, where the ring had all these people drawn to it, and they were just going down these different paths to get the ring. And it just feels like it's similar to what they're doing in AEW with the world title. That Samoa Joe, he's got Swerve, he's got Hangman, he's got Hook. Again, there's Wardlow, which we'll get into. You got Jay White and everything, because Samoa Joe, because he was associated with the devil and they took out all these people. You got the Acclaimed. They got all these people that are by the association that are gunning for Samoa Joe. So I really like that. Hook, Samoa Joe, get the popcorn, and this should be good. And actually, this might be Hook's best match and his toughest challenge, because I believe he is undefeated. So Hook, Samoa Joe, Taz, and that's going to be, is Samoa Joe going to do something to provoke Taz? That's something to think about. Something to think about, folks. Moving on, we got the Bullet Club Gold, their interview. You got Jay White and the Guns being interviewed by Renee Paquette. Then you have the Acclaimed interrupting, and they keep hinting and mentioning, hey, we need a faction. Look, the strength in numbers. And oh my God, Anthony Bowens, he looks at Jay White. He's like, hey, come on, we could be the faction, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I'm like, oh my God, that was freaking clever and hilarious. Jay White and, was it Austin? No, Colton, they leave, and you got Austin Gunn, and he's like, trying, like, as the Acclaimed are there, and Jay White's like, no, don't do that. So I like that little tease of continuing, like, hey, Jay White's still contemplating. Like, yeah, I'm going to think about it, blah, blah, blah. So there, again, this is a simple storyline where the Acclaimed and Anthony Bowens offered, hey, we should join forces. And you have Jay White and the Bullet Club Gold just contemplating it. They're not making a decision right away. And what I liked about this is that Jay White actually mentioned it. It wasn't giving the audience like they're alluding to it or hinting towards it. Like, hey, we'll think about it. We're still thinking about it. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. And just kind of like, like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And just, not giving a direct answer. So I like that. It's really cool. That would be interesting if they actually go through this, having the Acclaimed with the Bullet Club Gold. And I don't know, that there's a lot of things that could happen with that storyline. So we shall see. Then we had Roderick Strong and Brian Keith, which it wasn't announced, and I don't know. It's okay. I guess this was to fit in the Undisputed Kingdom giving a promo, which I don't know. Maybe that's how they wanted to do it. It's something I noticed they've been doing um, more frequently since December. I know they did it a few times during the Continental Classic. Um, it's interesting. I don't have a, oh, I don't like it, oh, I like it, or anything. It's just something interesting to, um, you could say a time filler, but also it's a kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? They're adding another story to progress in the story, so to speak. It's like a time filler, but also adding another story to give you something like, ooh, okay, I forgot about this. Oh, so he's here. So it's like kind of like, keep in mind this person's here and they got some goals and they're gonna go after some people. So I mean that's what it basically was. This was basic. It was a solid match. Um, I like what Bandito put in his Instagram story. I guess he wants a faction um, with Hangman Page, Brian Keith, and himself. So you got three cowboys from different backgrounds and everything as a part of this faction of Dead and Alive. So you got Bandito, who's a you know Latin cowboy. You got Hangman Page, who's a white cowboy, and then you got uh, Brian Keith, who's a black cowboy. So you got all these different cowboys under one. That would, man, I would really like AEW to do that because that would be pretty cool. And ooh, they could come out to Bon Jovi's Dead or Alive. Ooh, ooh, that would be good. That would be good. That might be pricey, but I don't know. We'll see. So Roderick Strong, he defeats Brian Keith. And mind you, this was match basically to set up the promo for the Undisputed Kingdom. And it was kind of a repeat to their first promo. But again, I don't have a problem with it because it's more, I wouldn't say a repeat, it's a reminder of, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we're about. And it's almost like a reminder, but also a very polite warning that they're giving, knowing how the Undisputed Kingdom, the Kingdom, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong operate. Again, we're still waiting for, when or if Kyle O'Reilly's returning. Is Bobby Fish going to return? So there's still these questions that are lingering and floating that we're like, where is this going to go? Are they going to go here? I like it. I love those storylines in wrestling because it just adds this like, are they going to show up? Is it going to show up? Where is this going to? It's just really fun. So, Adam Cole mentions the Kingdom the Kingdom tag team gets no respect. Mentions Roderick Strong again going after the international championship. Then he mentions Wardlow is the most vicious and surrounded by people who respect him. And then Adam Cole, man, if you got to listen to Adam Cole because he drops these little subtle hints that's like, okay, this going. And he mentions we will win the AEW World Title and we will be here for a very long time. Now, a key thing that I didn't notice this, but shout out to, I think it was Joe Pearl from Fightful. He mentioned it. That Wardlow was the only one not wearing Undisputed Kingdom gear. Keep that in mind. And I believe this is the second time that he wasn't wearing it. The first time when they came out after World's End, he didn't have any gear. And now there's the second time he doesn't have any gear. So I don't know if they're going to go the Batista route where he's just there and and then he just annihilates everybody, or they have their big man in line. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. Honestly, it would be dope if they added, whenever they switch the titles off of Ricky Starks and Big Bill, if they actually put Big Bill with the Undisputed Kingdom, because they do need a big guy to handle some business. So we'll see where that goes. But very interesting to see where this is going. Again, this was more of a reminder. I had no problem with it. I could see if other people had a problem with, like, oh, it's the same promo, this is this. But again, it's a polite reminder of who the Kingdom are and what they're going after, because eventually that politeness is not going to be there. Um, and I wouldn't even say it's a polite, like, hey, because they're bad guys. So of course it's more, yeah, we're gonna go after, and then they're just gonna, how Adam Cole is and Roderick Strong and those guys are as heels. Go back and watch ROH and NXT. Keep that in mind. Then we had the AEW Women, and I have to give them props. They really stood out tonight. The 8-woman tag between Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Saraya, Ruby Soho, versus Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Anna Jay. That was a fun match. It was hard hitting. It was really cool to see the 4-chain suplex. You did see a spot where Julia went around and, oh, I got to go over here. And, oh, I had no problem, but I know people are like, that's stupid. Look at that. They don't know. Until you step in the ring, then you could say something. That was great. There was a nice back and forth, and commentary mentioned the history between Anna Jay and Julia Hart. They were friends, and they just went to blows. Sky Blue tapped out. Then we had Toni Storm. Oh my God, she is freaking hilarious. She at Mariah Wade's like, hey, did you see my match? Oh, I was sent the screener. Just blowing it off again. And then she gives Mariah Ray chocolate, and she tells Luther, oh, put in a word. I want to have this meeting with Deonna Purrazzo. Man, she's selling this gimmick so good, man. She is so awesome. This is a home run for her, man. This gimmick, and I like that it hasn't run its course. It's just building more and more depth to the character, where it's just like, okay, this isn't something that's a fad. Like, this is gonna be here for a while, which I love that. Then later on you had Deonna Purrazzo with Renee Paquette, and she mentions, you're going after the AEW Women's Championship. She's interrupted by Red Velvet. Red Velvet's like, oh, so you're making your debut on Collision. I'm going to make my debut on Collision. So how about you debut against me? So we're getting Deonna Purrazzo versus Red Velvet for AEW Collision this Saturday. That should be pretty fun. It should be a solid card. I believe, yes, this Friday is Hard to Kill. So TNA Wrestling Hard to Kill, check that out. But man, all the women tonight, they did their thing. They had a great match, and they added elements to progress for the stories, which is, again, the little things. They did it, boom, it's going to be there next week. And on Collision, really good. Then you had, somewhat issue with Lance Archer and Brian Cage. So are we going to get a potential match between Lance Archer and the Righteous versus Brian Cage and Gates of Agony? That was kind of teased. Again, Jericho saving Guevara after his beatdown. The music hit, and like, you kind of heard these boos, and they raised the volume of his song to drown out the boos, which, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think those boos are going to go anywhere anytime soon. We'll see how that plays out with Jericho and AEW for the rest of 2024. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. I just hope that this feud is over with quickly and we can move on. Yeah, I believe that's Battle of Belts this Saturday. Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho versus Big Bill and Sammy Guevara for the AEW World Tag Team titles. But we'll see. Also, it was announced today, or reported, that Queen Aminata is All Elite. It hasn't been official, but several talent told Fightful that the AEW Ross, that she was signed. So we'll see where that goes. Moving on, in other wrestling news, WB on A&E Returns Sunday, February 24th. It will be the new season of Rivalries and Biography WB Legends, airing 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. The season premiere of Rivals will be Triple H and The Rock. Other iconic rivalries will be Jake the Snake Roberts versus Macho Man, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, John Cena versus Randy Orton, the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and then you have The Miz and Daniel Bryan. For biography, WWE Legends, they'll begin with Randy Orton, followed by Sergeant Slaughter, Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, Diamond Dallas Page, British Bulldog, and Roman Reigns. So I am looking forward to that. That's actually a really cool series to watch. It's very well done and it's a nice, enjoyable watch, man. It's a nice, you know what I'm watching? Let me kick back and watch it. Like, it's a fun watch, man. And that's how it should be. Also, you got MLW Superfight, February 3rd at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. You're going to have Alex Kane, the MLW World Heavyweight Champion, versus, Satoshi Kojima. I hope I pronounced that right. So you're going to have that match. I know Kojima wrestled in AEW. I believe he wrestled CM Punk. If I remember, he wrestled CM Punk at Forbidden Door. Yeah, last year I think he did. So that should be cool. Also, if you guys noticed on New Japan, actually I think people were screenshotting it that on New Japan's website, they had Evil as the never open weight champion, which that's not correct. It's Tama Tonga, and people are like, man, did they do a glitch or something? Excuse me, like, what do they do? What do they do here? Right after Dynamite aired, New Japan posted a video of Evil and the House of Darkness, or whatever their damn name is, which is, man, that faction has a reputation. But they showed a video of Evil and his other members of his faction on a computer and changing the whole thing. So he purposely hacked. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen New Japan do anything like that in quite a while. So that's a cool element to that storyline. I believe he is, I forgot who he's wrestling against at Battle of the Valley. But yeah, you're going to get, that's the other event this Saturday. Battle in the Valley. You're going to get, was it Okada and Will Ospreay? That's a stacked card. You're going to have Julia versus Trisha Dora. Then you're going to have, what's the other women's match? Stephanie Vacour versus, I'm brain locking right now. I can't remember who she's fighting with. I haven't posted on City of Wrestling, but yeah, that's going to be a fun night. But yeah, other than that, this has been a fun day in professional wrestling, outside of the whole Twitter spat between TK, Meltzer, and Bischoff, that was wild. But man, AEW Dynamite tonight, man, that was a fun show. Go check it out. It, from start to finish, man, that was a solid, outstanding show. It was fun, man. It was fun. I loved it. Again, I gave it an outstanding grade, but that is this edition and this episode, I should say, of City of Wrestling Showtime. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you are notified when the City of Wrestling drops its latest content. Follow me, Dedrian _180 on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, that whole thing. And man, there's a lot more wrestling coming this month. I mean, again, we got Royal Rumble, Revolution. You got Hard to Kill next week. You got Battle in the Valley this Saturday. Man, you just got, did I say Hard to Kill this week? Yeah, you got Hard to Kill this week. There's just a lot of wrestling, and man, just enjoy it. Again, we still got free agency news happening, so be on the lookout for that. And man, there's never a dull moment in professional wrestling, and we're seeing that right now, and I'm having fun. So until next time, folks, I will see you on the next episode of City of Wrestling.